Hello everyone, I'm Jessica from group number 2. So I would like to share the materials about speech checks theory from Pragmatics. So speech checks, according to John Longso Austin from 1962, he claimed that all utterances, in addition to meaning whatever they mean, perform specific communicative force of an utterance. And according to John Searle in 1969, stated that the central tenet of speech check theory is that the uttering of a sentence is or is a part of an action within the framework of social institutions and conventions. Searle hypothesized that speaking is a language is engaging in a rule-governed form of behavior, in which this form is performing speech acts such as making statements, giving comments, asking questions, and making promise. Okay, so for the next one is John Longso Austin's theory. It is divided into 3 parts. The first one is constitutive speech, the second one is performative speech, and the last but not least, it's also divided into 3 parts. There are locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary. But first, who is this John Longso Austin and John Searle? So, John Longso Austin and John Searle are pivotal figures in the field of pragmatics, particularly known for their theories of speech checks. Their contributions have significantly shaped our understanding of how language functions beyond mere assertion, focusing instead of the actions performed through utterances. Okay, so for the first one, constitutive speech. According to Austin, constitutive speech checks are a type of speech check which are primarily concerned with describing or stating facts. There are 3 key characteristics of constitutive speech checks. The first one is descriptive. They aim to convey information about the world. The second one is informational. They are used to share knowledge, beliefs, or offer observations. And the third one is truth conditional. Their success or failure is typically evaluated based on their truth value, whether they are true or false. For instance, like the sky is blue, the cat is on the mat, Paris is the capital of France. All of them are facts. Okay, let's hop to the next one, performative speech. So according to Austin, performative speech checks are a type of speech check which are used to perform actions through their utterance. And the key characteristics of performative speech checks that are, the first one, action-oriented. They are not merely statements, but rather actions in themselves. And the next one, context-dependent. Their success depends on the context, the speaker's authority, and the appropriate performance conditions. And last but not least, conventional. They are often tied to specific linguistic conventions or formulas. And for the examples for performative speech checks, as for the declaration, I declare you husband and wife. As for the promises, I promise to be there. And for the others, stop! And for the blessings, for example, may the force be with you. Okay, the next one is locutionary. According to Austin, says that the utterance of certain noises, certain words construction. In other words, a locutionary act is an act of producing a meaningful linguistic expressions. Locutionary speech check is a basic act of utterance, or producing a meaningful linguistic expression, or literal meaning of the words. For instance, the cake is good. Okay, so for the next one is illocutionary. Illocutionary speech check is not just saying something, but the act of saying something with the intention of stating opinion, making a promise or request, and giving advice or permission. For instance, like, I'll do my test later. It is a promise example. And go to your room. It is a form of order. Okay, for the next one is perlocutionary. Perlocutionary speech act is the effect produced on the listener when they listen locutionary act or the hearer's response. So for instance, like, I'll take you by a new car. The hearer or the listener will go to the car and join the speaker inside the car. Okay, for the next one is John Searle's theory. They are divided by three: locutionary speech act, illocutionary speech act, and perlocutionary speech act. So yeah, you can see that they are similar to John Austin's. John Searle here is an American philosopher who studied under John Austin at Oxford. He has expanded upon refined Austin's theories, making significant contributions to the philosophy of language and mind. Locutionary speech act, according to John Searle, is the act of saying something. In speech act, locutionary act is the basic in speech act. Speakers use speech in communication with hearer. Someone who talks to a wall or to themselves in front of mirror does not use speech in communication cannot be said to be a locutionary act. So, according to Searle, in general, locutionary act is the act of saying something. While the illocutionary speech act, according to John Searle, it is the act of doing something. Illocutionary act is a speech act that is not only functions to say or inform something, but can also be used to make the listener do what the speaker says. So the 5 illocutionary act types according to Searle, such as directive, commissive, representative, declarative, and expressive. So the first one is directive, speech act that speaker use to get someone else to do something. For instance, like, give me a cup of tea, make it sweet. Could you lend me a pencil, please? And don't touch the wall. And for the next one is commissive. Speech acts that speaker use to commit themselves to some future actions. For instance, be right back. I will not do it again. We will not do the bad things. So for the next one is representative. So it states what speaker believes to be the case or not. For example, the earth is flat. Chomsky didn't write about peanuts. It was a warm sunny day. Okay, the next one is declarative. It is a speech act that changes the situation from the utterance or word. For example, the priest said, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Or the referee, you're out. Or the judge said, I sentence you 7 months in prison. Okay, for the next one is expressive. It is the speech act that states what speaker feels. For example, I'm really sorry. Congratulations. Okay, let's hop to the perlocutionary speech act. So, perlocutionary speech act, according to John Searle, is the act of affecting someone. Perlocutionary act is the influence exerted by the speaker on the hearer or listener. In conclusion, perlocutionary act is the act of affecting someone. This can be affecting the attitudes and physical behavior or mental changes of the interlocutor in interpersonal interaction. Okay, so for the key differences between Austin and Searle, the first aspect is focus. Austin emphasizes ordinary language use and context, while Searle is on systematic analysis of speech acts. The next one, locutionary act, from Austin as basic act of saying something, and according to Searle, is similar definition but emphasizes semantic structure. And for the illocutionary act, for Austin, is defined by intention behind the utterance, while Searle includes propositional content and illocutionary force. As for the prolocutionary act, according to Austin, its effects on listeners are secondary, while Searle analyzes effects as integral to understanding meaning. And for the philosophical approach, according to Austin, it challenges traditional views on language, while Searle aligns with logical analysis while refining it. Okay, so that's all from me, Jessica Hurley. Thank you very much.